This ain't no race. We got nothing but time. Sit back, let your thoughts recline. I'm talking all the way. This ain't no potion. We float just like the ocean. We coming correct on all these vibes. For the leather feel nice. Smooth on down to another dimension. Let me take you inside. Inhale these vibes I'm giving. These thoughts alive and living. This high has got me reeling. Cause it's you that I'm feeling. Should keep your eyes on me. Yeah, yeah. Baby, keep your eyes on.
Hey friends, welcome back to the episode of Getting Close Up, the show focused on independent artists and creatives. I'm your host, Danielle Cox. And if you're not checking for me yet, what's stopping you? I'm always checking for you. Let's reciprocate. Let's make this relationship real. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ding the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Because honestly, why would you? My guest today has been doing the work to earn his crown, and he wears it well. But he also makes sure to fix the crowns of others with wisdom and a lot of good help along the way. Today, we are getting close up with King Dari. Hey, King.
Hello. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Well, I really appreciate how you're out here trying to get yours, but you don't do that without stopping to help others get theirs.
Yeah, well, that's the point. You know,
Yeah.
that's the whole reason that we're here, uplifting others. You know,
Mhm.
Rome wasn't built in a day, and you know, it takes a village. you
Yeah.
know? So you can't really help adjust your own crown if you're not adjusting the crown of others along the way.
Exactly.
You know?
And so I've been following you for a while, and I've been watching your videos, and you get up and do your words of wisdom. And a lot of times when people do that, it's like, you know, it feels kind of pretentious, or like because they're getting back at somebody, and so now they have a word to tell others. But it doesn't feel like that coming from you at all. Like, it feels really genuine, as far as I'm not here to make it seem like I know more than anybody else. You're usually rooting it in something that you just experienced or something that you just went through, and you immediately in that moment, and it's a very vulnerable thing to do, tell other people about it so that they can fix their crown.
Yeah, of course.
Or make sure they don't drop theirs.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a person who is shaped by my experiences. My experiences have shaped me along the way. And usually when I make those videos, is not necessarily a thing that happens, but it is a collective of things that happen to me in my life. My dad's a pastor.
Yeah.
I'm a PK through
Yeah.
and through. So, you know, I'm very, very knowledgeable, both spiritually and just from life experiences. And when you combine those two, it really gives me a unique perspective on life. And I feel a lot of times people don't have others who are willing to feed into them. We live in a very different time now where there's a lot of people who need those words, you know, and I haven't been making any as of recently, mostly just because I've been reframing and stuff, but I want people to go back to those videos and feel encouraged, you know. You have to water others, because in a way, you know, for me, watering others helps me remind myself that I'm doing the good work, you know. I'm tilling the land and planting the seeds, and it's not easy work, but you know, somebody's got to do it.
Well, no, and then too, you know, it reminds you to water yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Yes.
And what I'm hearing when you talked about being a preacher's kid, is you saw people being shepherded. You saw someone being a shepherd, and in a sense, that's something that you kind of have on you. I don't know if you realize it, but it's something you kind of have on you to kind of shepherd other people. Like, you know, I have this knowledge. I want to talk to people about it. I just learned this today. Let's talk about it. You kind of have that. And again, it's not coming from a place of I know more than everybody else. It's I got this today. Let me go ahead and share it.
It never. I don't want anything that I ever say to come from a place of, oh, I know more than you.
Right.
Oh, I'm rubbing it in your face. You know, like I don't ever want people to think that everything I do comes from a place of love and from pure intentions. That's how I've always been. I've always been like that, you know. My family would hit me up and they'd say that I'm a prophet. You know, other people would say I'm very intuitive and wise. I just believe that, you know, I happen to pick up on the energy around me, and I have a natural ability to allow my words to bring people in, you know, so, because I have a lot to say.
Yeah, you do have a lot to say, and we're definitely going to talk about one of the ways that you chose to do that, and that's in music.
Yes.
But I want to ask you, since we're talking about advice and words of wisdom, what's the best piece of advice that you had ever been given?
Okay, I gotta try not to get emotional. My late friend Gerald Edwards, he was an artist in the music scene. Rest his soul. Months before his passing, we met at a poetry lounge at our alma mater. We went to the same high school. This was the year after I graduated, April of 2016. I'm in college full time. I'm in vocal music ed, and I really didn't want to do it. And we met up. We did our usual thing. You know, we roasted each other. We like came out.
That's
the
like, best kind of friend.
You know, like, what are those? You know, and he was like, your hair looks uneven. You know. And so, you know, afterwards we just kind of started talking about real life, and he asked me about how college was going. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn, you know, because part of me doesn't really know where I want to go music wise. And he looked at me. It was like, if you want to do something, you should do it. Who cares what anybody else says? That's the very PG version
of what he said.
Yeah, it's a very PG version of what he said.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, he passed away a few months later, but those words have stuck with me for the last almost 10 years.
Yeah.
He is the reason why I'm here today. He is one of the biggest inspirations to me to this day. He planted a seed in me to use my words for good. I'll tell anybody, he was one of the best around. One of my other good friends, Chris Dom, he's also a local artist in the Kansas City scene.
Yeah.
They're kind of like they were my older brothers. Chris Dom is still like an older brother to me. And, you know, we see each other all the time, you know, but like really Chris and Gerald fed into me at an early age when I was looking for what could inspire me.
Yeah.
And those words have stuck with me for years. I don't think I don't think I'm ever gonna get rid of those. I
mean, there's no reason to, because he was exactly right. If you're gonna do something, do it. Don't worry about anyone else. And I think that, you know, you were at a particular crossroads, I guess, as a lot of kids who grew up in the church and are, you know, connected to families who are, you know, whether they're the preacher or just really big in the church, where you have to figure out, what kind of artist am I going to be? I have this music, I have gospel music, and I have all of this has a purpose to it. And you kind of get the feeling that if you don't do that, then there's not a purpose to what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're not in that vein. So talk to me a little bit about the decision that you had to make there. Was it a difficult decision, or was it something that just made sense at the time?
It was very difficult. After his passing, I kind of just felt lost. For me, it's really difficult for me to have people who look like me and I can connect with. And so losing that at that age was really hard. For months, I just kind of wrestled with the idea of what I needed to do, because I still wanted to shine the light that I had been given. And I still wanted to give thanks for what I was doing, but I also didn't want to be confined to organized religion.
Right.
And honestly, the summer of 2017, I just picked up a pen and just started writing poems. It first started out with me writing poems because I'm a poet too. I wrote a book when I was 13 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I lost the book, which makes me sad.
Yeah.
But, you know, I told myself that in January, that January of 2017 that I was going to write a poem for one poem every week. And then in the summertime of 2017, I got to work. I started taking some of those poems and turning them into songs. And then those songs started not really going anywhere, but I started writing more. And then in the fall of 2017 into 2018, I changed my major to music tech and industry. And then I started learning how to produce.
Yeah.
I started learning how to research different artists and just not listen to artists just to listen to them, but to actually hear what they're saying. And then from there, it just kind of snowballed. So, you know, in a way, his spirit of creativity and not allowing, you know, the confinements of religion getting to me really nurtured me at a time where I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I'm so thankful for him. I really am.
Yeah, it sounds like he was a huge influence into what you're doing today, because even in some of your songs, you can very much hear the conflict. You know what I'm saying? I think of Church Burn, for instance. I think
yeah. Ah, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of
back into the discography.
Yeah, no, I had to, but like you can hear some of the conflict there, but the resolution as well. And I think that's really important for people to understand that, you know, your art can take you on a journey that doesn't look the way other people may set up for you or where they think it should go.
My faith walk is different than anybody else's I've ever encountered. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, Church Burn was made at a time where I had some things on my mind about the church.
You did.
And I still do. I mean, I still talk about it because it's such an important thing to talk about. You know, it is something that is necessary. Church Burn was made out of my hurt from growing up and not seeing things happen the way they should. Growing up in the church, I was taught that Christ is love.
Right.
Growing up, I was taught that this is what love is. This is what unconditional love is. This is what we're supposed to do. So imagine my surprise when the same people that said that in 2020 are closing doors on people in floods. Meanwhile, they're driving around in cars that are well worth more than any debt that I have. You know, you got people in the congregation tithing and they're homeless. You know, if we're the body, we set the example. Right. And that song is just from a place of trying to make sense of everything.
Yeah, trying to make sense of what feels in your heart as nonsense. And people often get upset when people question things, but like if the love was put into your heart, then it's going to be what tests everything. Everything has to be tried by that love.
Yes.
And if it doesn't hold up to scrutiny, then it doesn't hold up to scrutiny.
Listen, Jesus flipped over tables.
He did flip over tables.
Okay, people forget that quite often.
He flipped some tables.
Okay, he flipped over a lot of tables. He called out a lot of people. And I believe that it is my God-given duty to call out people who are pretenders. Even now, with everything going on in the past few weeks, it is still my job. Okay? And I'm not going to get too deep into that.
No, but I know exactly where you're going with that. And it's the reason why creatives and artistry is so needed. And it's usually one of the things that get attacked first. Yeah. Anytime you look at the fall of large civilizations or times where they've got put into a certain dark age, it was because they started, first started with anti-intellectualism and then getting rid of the creatives, the people with new ideas and new thoughts, getting rid of books, getting rid of music, getting rid of cultural markers. So that is like some of the first things that get attacked. So it's even more so important now for people to continue to use their voice. Yes. And to use it to speak to the things that are in their heart.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Yeah. So that's, we could probably talk for hours on that, but I want to, but I want to start touching on one of the things that you mentioned about your BA that you have in music tech and industry.
Yes.
Technology, or did I get that
music
right?
tech and industry.
Tech and industry. Okay.
Technology is the technical term, but yes.
Okay, so make sure I get it right. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the lessons that you learned from that and
Mhm.
how that helps you as an artist, especially when it comes to production. Do you produce your own music, or sometimes you work with other producers?
It varies.
Mm.
But I will say that everything I've done up until this point, I did on my own.
Oh, okay.
I have reached out to the network that I have, and I'm
Mhm.
so grateful for them.
Yeah.
I have people that have been willing to do my production and mixing and mastering for very low rates of free.
Oh, that's awesome.
I learned in college very early that your network is your net worth.
Yes. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Say that again.
Your network is your net worth.
Okay.
You feel?
Okay. Message.
But you know, I learned from an early age then, you know, that get your works and your rights published on a publishing rights organization. That was one of our homework assignments that we had to do. We had to choose BMI or ASCAP. Another assignment is we had to learn about copyright infringement, you know, how you can't use certain samples until way later. We learned about the Milli Vanilli case. That was a mess.
Yeah.
Stairway to Heaven's another one that people don't know about. There was
a
whole backstory about that one.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it was a whole backstory. I can't remember if it was Metallica or something like that, but that happens a lot. The most recent one that I think of is Sia. She just had one about a year and a half, 2 years ago. You know, so make sure you clear your samples, you know, if you're going to use them. Also, just being careful and making sure that any deal that you do is on paper. Any deal, from like,
That's important.
you know, from making a beat to doing anything, making sure that everything that you have is on paper. So that way, if somebody comes for you, you have receipts.
That's important.
You know, so college just really taught me that, but it also taught me the fundamentals of music. I'm a classically trained singer. I can sing opera, I can rap, and I can sing.
Okay.
You know? So like for me, like, you know, I can do a musical if I wanted to, or I could spit a nasty, you know, 16 bar one, you know, freestyle if I choose to do it, you know. It taught me the fundamentals of what triads are, what chords are. So that way when I'm messing around on my MIDI piano, I know exactly what to look for so I can start building the foundations of a beat. You know, it taught me the fundamentals so that way when the pandemic happened, I knew what I wanted to do.
Yeah, a lot of artists that have talked to us, that was their turning point. Either coming back into music or just deciding to go ahead and do it.
Yeah. For me, it was waking up. I'm not like everybody else. I operate on a different clock and a different frequency that people aren't used to. I come alive in the fall and winter.
Oh, okay.
So for me, I got a lot of things that I'm planning right now for that. We'll touch up on that later. But for me, when the pandemic hit, I use that as an opportunity to go full speed ahead. I was sitting on a lot of different things, a lot of different emotions at the time. And when the pandemic happened, I lost my job. I got scammed out of a car.
Oh, wow.
And I had to move back into my parents' place, which was not in St. Joseph, but, you know, 40 miles away in Kansas City, and do the rest of my undergrad online.
That's huge.
Yeah. But through that, you know, I was able to get them unemployment checks.
Oh, yeah.
And them unemployment checks allow me to get all of my music equipment that I use. And most of it's packed away in storage right now, because I'm dealing with some things. But right now, all I record on is a Blue Yeti X microphone, the laptop I've used for the last 5 years, and my Presonus headphones that I've had for the last 5 years. That's it.
Wow.
I don't use anything else. I have, you know, specific things I use for mixing and mastering. So if I want to do a freestyle, or like if, you know, like the Epitome or Hood Do Food Reviews, you know, gives me a shout out and is like, yo, get in the booth. You know, that's what I did. So I literally did that in 2 days, you know, because of the, you know, the ability to have all of my stuff at a moment's notice. You know?
That makes a big difference.
So, you know, everything I've done on my own, you know, but I'm reaching a certain point to where I realize I can't get to the next level alone. So I've been reaching out for help. I've been using my network, you know, I've been trying to create a team, you know, and it's been a journey, you know?
Well, then too, you told us something interesting that we haven't talked to very many people with an agent. And so talk to me about that experience. What made you decide to get an agent?
I wanted to level up. I wanted to level up.
And in what ways does that help you level up?
It has helped me because there are some things that I'm still learning about the music industry.
Got you.
There are some things I'm learning about the music industry in Kansas City, as well as other markets. And having an agent, someone who is well versed in that, shout out to Gina, someone who is well versed in that, it helps me navigate a lot of the things that I've just been stuck on navigating. Finding people who can get me to bigger crowds and into bigger venues, finding connections and networking with other people who know other people who will, you know, send me a beat for free or something like that just because they know my agent. You know, that's
helpful.
That stuff I didn't get to learn in college because of the pandemic, you know.
I love how excited you get about the collaborations. I really do. And I also love how you get excited about the Kansas City rap scene in general. Because for a lot of artists, I mean, the scene is big and small. I say it all the time, but for some genres, it can feel smaller.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of the biggest things I also learned is how small in the grand scheme Kansas City is when it comes to hip hop.
Yeah.
When it comes to R&B, and when it comes to pop. Kansas City is a mecca for indie, pop punk, a lot of cover bands, and it also is a mecca for heavy metal. It has been for quite some time, and for jazz. You know, we have the historic 18th and Vine District, and it's so vast in that regard. However, people like myself have had to carve that out. It has not been an easy journey. It has not been an easy road. I tip my hat to everybody who is doing that in Kansas City.
Yeah.
You know, the end goal is to put Kansas City on the same elevation in terms of hip hop and R&B as the West Coast or the East Coast, or places like the DMV or places like Miami. I believe in the hip hop scene here so much that I've made my own style.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes. You are the first person to ask me about this, and I'm so excited to talk about it. I made a original flow that is based for the Kansas City style called the KC Bounce. And it is a style that blends music technicality with jazz and lyrics. So imagine a square peg with a round hole, which I have a song, it's an instrumental beat that kind of explores that kind of theme a little bit. But a lot of times when artists are rapping, you know, they'll go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 with the beat, and they'll go like this. And you know, when they switch up, you'll know it's like this. But for me, I take a more improvisation with it. So for me, it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So you can hear how the beat keeps going on and on. When you don't stop, you keep going. So we're going a flow, and I just keep on going, let the flow of the ocean like that. So it's really like,
it does bounce.
It's very bouncy.
Yeah.
And a lot of rappers in Kansas City are very unique in that regard, but it's to pay homage to the jazz of Kansas City, while also taking a unique approach in the modern sense. It's very modern throwback.
Yeah,
and
very that.
Once you hear it, you can't get it out of your ear.
That is a blessing. And what else do you have coming down the pipe?
I'm feeling compelled to release a song that speaks in the heart of everyone. And this song that I have is so special that I'm literally not telling anyone about it except for the people closest to me who have heard it.
Okay.
The reach it will do will shake the foundations of Kansas City to its core. Every time I've performed it or let people hear it, they love it. Every time. And I believe that something big is happening not only in Kansas City, but in my life as an artist. And I believe that this song might be it. You know?
So what is it? Now, you said that you don't want to talk too much about it, but what is it specifically about it that makes you feel that way? Why is it so different from what you've done?
Well, for me, I've done a lot of different songs talking about a lot of different issues, but this song touches on liberation. And that's very vague, but also if you ever get a chance to listen to the song, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. This song is talking about freedom. This song is talking about releasing people from oppression by means of education. You know, talking about how your experiences don't define you.
Oh, wow.
This song has no, what is the word I'm looking for? It has no way leaning left or right. It has only a center. The song has no time of season. It has a message, and the message is powerful. I have dealt with a lot of adversity in the last year. I've gone from being homeless. I'm sleeping on my parents' spare bedroom floor. My car has issues. I'm working a 9 to 5 right now. And I drive an hour to and from work. This has not been easy. This year has been tough mentally. And for me, I just have focused on the goal. Yeah. And being faithful that knowing something big is in the works. Because of how I was brought up. And I believe it with all my heart that something big is happening. Not only for me, but just for the Kansas City scene. And I believe I'm part of it, and wherever I land, Kansas City is going to be on the forefront. It just is. It has to be, because there are so many talented people here, myself included, that don't have the resources to get bigger, So if the resources they can't get to the resources, I want to bring the resources to them.
Yeah, that's very important, to be able to reach back and make things happen. And you've got so much going on. Why don't you let people know where they can keep up with you? Because they're definitely going to want to. Yeah, absolutely. They blink, they'll miss it.
If you have enjoyed what I've been saying, you can follow me on Instagram at THE_KINGDARI, _King Dari. You can also follow me on my Facebook page. It's public now. It's under my actual name, but my artist name is right under that. I don't have a preference. You can call me whatever you want, because I go by both. Yeah. King Dari and Adarius are one. I also post on TikTok. I have a YouTube page under King Dari. My TikTok name is xking_Darius. I've been taking a little break from posting on there for a little bit, but I do plan on picking it back up eventually. I'm also on Threads. Eventually, I think I want to reach back out to Twitter or X. But yeah, you can find me on multiple different things, but Instagram, Threads, and Facebook is going to be where you're going to get the most up-to-date stuff about what is coming up in my life, and also what I have in store. And I got a lot of things in store. So I hope you guys are ready. It's time to adjust our crowns and move the kingdom.
Hey, there you go. A little tie back. I love it. Well, there's one more thing that we need you to do, King. We're going to have you make your mark on our wall of fame. Many thanks again to King Dari for joining me today. If you had as much fun as we did, make sure that you like, you comment, subscribe so that we can keep bringing it to you. New episodes of Getting Close Up air bi-weekly on Fridays. Also, make sure to check out me and D as we give you the tea on what's hot and what's not with GCU Review. We're a great time. You already know the deal. All the links that he gave will be down in the description box below, so go check him out. You are not going to want to blink, not even for a second, because you will miss everything. Make sure that you tune in for the next person that we have. Thank you guys for watching. You're the best part of all of this, and I'll see you again soon for another close up. I'll be checking for you. Bye.